Welcome back, Bible Quizzing family. This is part 2 of Bronze Lesson 1. So we split it up into 2 videos. Video 1 talked about how to learn a verse, and now we're going to talk about the importance of actually reviewing those verses so that they stick with you and you don't forget those verses, which is extremely important, right? This is another fundamental thing that you have to learn with Bible quizzing. So I'm going to first talk about the memorization pyramid, and there's 4 different levels, and you can follow along on page 10 in your handout. So the first one is called rough, right? Rough is when your quizzer has about 50% or less of the verse. This is like if they learned it and then they didn't review it for a couple days and then you ask them to recite it, it's probably going to sound like this. So we're going to do Acts 1:1. All right. Could you quote Acts 1:1?
Yeah. Can I have a beginner word? Sure, yeah. The former. Okay, the former. The former treaties. The former treaties. Have I made? Oh. Former treaties have I made? Oh. Theophilus. Of all. Jesus.
This is what happens when you don't review, kids.
That's all I know.
Of all that Jesus began both to do and teach. So when you don't review, even after 2 or 3 days of learning a verse, that's what it can look like.
Yeah.
The goal is to continue to review. Now, if you review for at least 1 to 2 days consecutively, it's going to look like part 2, which is partial knowledge. Now you understand about 90% of it. So we're going to show you what part 2 looks like, knowing about 90% of it. Usually this, you just need a starter on each of the phrases and you can finish it. All right, quote for me, Acts 1:1.
Okay. I need a helper.
The former.
The former treaties have I made, O Theophilus,
Of all that
Jesus began both to do and teach.
Boom. So much better. She just needed this starter. Now, if you continue to review like this each day, and now you've reviewed that verse from 3 to 6 days even, you should have 100% of that verse, but there might be some pauses, some brief pauses, and it doesn't flow immediately. You have to think a little bit, but you do have the verse. You can tell you've been reviewing it each day. So it's going to look like this. Quote for me, Acts 1, verse 1.
Okay, don't tell me, because I think I got this. I've been working on it. The former treaties have I made, O Theophilus, of all Jesus began both to do and teach.
Of all that Jesus.
I forgot that.
There you go. Very good. Pretend she inserted that right there. But sometimes that can happen. That's still a level 3-ish. 100%, 99%. We'll give it to her. Depends on what kind of coach you are, right? So if you continue to review those though, right, and you find your little tweaks right there, and you review it for at least 7 days, and this is also why it's important to review with somebody, because you might make a mistake and not even realize it. So that's why it's good to review with somebody. But if you review it for a week or so, that means if I learned a verse on Monday, by the following Monday, I should have it like this. Could you quote for me Acts 1, verse 1?
The former treaties have made, O Theophilus, of all that Jesus began both to do and teach.
Boom. So those are the 4 levels, all right? So as we finish up here, I want to talk about, I already talked about like how important it is to have somebody there. So if there's a designated person in the house to review, that's really important. Or if you have a quiz angel, or we also call them personal coaches, we supply those to help supplement what parents can't do. But it's important that they're reviewing every single day. Even if they're not learning, if they're reviewing the verses every single day, especially the new ones, so that they stick. And anything else you wanted to add?
Yeah, whenever you go through this BQ University Lesson 1 with your kid, try these out. Like, try out some of the memorization methods that we gave to you and see which one works best for your kids, because we've noticed even with some of the seniors, they'll do phrase 10 and they like it, but then they need to add in the writing part so that it really sticks. And then some of them even prefer to do like the BQ songs or Nate Send a Rap, or even do a word song. So that they can really cement in there, because sometimes they hit a wall and say, I don't know what, I can't get this verse. So play with some of those methods to see which one that works the best for your quizzer, and then see where they are with their memorization based off the memorization chart.
And then let us know, let us know which one's working so that we can hone in on that with them. And then lastly, as we finish up this video, I do want to share this, that getting your verses to the level 4 is 80% of Bible quizzing. Bible quizzing can be extremely intimidating, like the interrupting and you see how crazy and answering the questions. But knowing your verses is 80% of the battle. The other 20%, which is still important, is the skills of knowing when to interrupt the questions, how to answer the questions. But if you can get all of your verses to that level 4 understanding, they're going to be extremely competitive in Bible quizzing. So focus on that before you go to doing the crazy. You ever seen those people that they can juke out the team and then they miss the layup? Don't be that guy. Learn how to dribble and make the layup, and we'll worry about the crossovers later. So thanks for joining us. We will see you later. Bye.